This is Real Estate Radio. The Erik Hatch team is highly motivated, innovative, and knowledgeable for all things real estate. This is Real Estate Radio.
Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, real estate fans, avid listeners alike, and just those people on your way to church. Thanks so very much for tuning into Real Estate Radio this morning. I'm your host, Erik Hatch of Hatch Realty, and if you ever want to stop by to see us, I encourage you to do so. We're located at 1205 16th Avenue South in Fargo, kitty corner from Dwayne's House of Pizza. So if you're picking up one of the most thin, delicious pizzas in town, why don't you grab a slice of pie and then come buy a house? It seems like those are paralleling things, so let's get it all done in one fell swoop. Hey, at the top of the hour, I don't want to be shy about this. If you own a house that's under $250,000 and you live in Fargo Moorhead or West Fargo, there's a really good chance that if you want to sell your house right now, you're going to get way more money than you ever thought possible. Here's an example. I put folks into a house, 2 years ago now. And when I got them into the house, they bought it for a net of $180,000. Great house. They did absolutely nothing to the house except for add a shed in the backyard. That's about a $1,500 value. And then they sheetrocked and insulated the garage. Otherwise, they did no other improvements to the house. And in 25 months, that house appreciated over 20%. We sold it for over $220,000. So they made, no joke, $40,000 on a $180,000 investment in 25 months. Now, those kind of stories are happening all across town. So if you bought a house even recently, this is your chance. This is your time to move up, to get into something before these interest rates climb. And in fact, the stories I've been reading lately are saying that this summer, we're going to see a huge, huge increase in our interest rates. So I don't want you as a consumer to miss out on that opportunity. So the first step is to find out what your home is worth. If you're curious at all, I encourage you to reach out to me, 701-369-4839. We can give you a very good analysis on what your home is worth. Or even easier, head to livefargomorehead.com so you can find out exactly what the old interweb thinks your house is worth. Of course, that's going to be a bit of an estimate where we're going to get very specific if we talk. So again, livefargomorehead.com or 369-4839. But first things first, let's find out what's happening with real estate news this week.
What qualities make up a vibrant downtown? According to a recent list of the best downtowns in America by livability.com, high-performing downtowns foster creativity, inclusion, and innovation, and should offer a mix of architecture, art, a solid variety of attractions, and a chance for all people of all walks of life to connect. The process in finding the best downtowns in the U.S. did not solely rely on data. It was more science than art. They factored in population growth, ratio of residents to jobs, income growth, home vacancy rates, affordability of housing, and retail and office vacancy rates. But ultimately, the cities that made the list must maintain a high level of energy and give all residents in a city a reason to come on down. Our very own Fargo placed number 7 on the list, with Minneapolis at number 2 and Pittsburgh at number 1. And that's what's making real estate news this week. You're listening to Erik Hatch with Real Estate Radio.
I couldn't be more ecstatic to have in studio with us the handsome, the debonair, the man who used to date my wife in high school, Mr. That's so uncomfortable. Mr. Matt Langamo of All Terrain. How are you, Matt?
Erik Hatch, I am fantastic. I think the reason your wife left me for you is because I have a face for radio.
It's
what
true.
I've been told. So.
And it's absolutely true.
Well, thank you very
But
little.
you married one of my best friends as well, and it's fun that the four of us now can have such a great time raising our kids together. You have a new kid, right?
Brand new. Still got that new car smell kind of on her.
What's her name?
Little Miss Julia. She was
Julia.
born about 7 weeks ago.
Okay, and she's precious. And then you have a son as well. Tell us about your son.
Yep, Martin is born 18 months ago, and he is just awesome. Yeah, we like him a lot.
So when you're not dating my wife in high school, and when you're not raising your kids, what do you do for a living?
Well, I work at All Terrain Grounds Maintenance here in Fargo.
Okay, and tell me about All Terrain. If I'm a Joe Blow listener who's never heard of All Terrain, what the heck are you?
All Terrain Grounds Maintenance is one of the largest lawn care providers in the state of North Dakota. We mow for about 500 customers each week. We spray for about 2,000 customers all over Fargo-Moorhead, West Fargo, and the Lakes area.
And so you do snow removal too, but that's a thing of the past. We don't even need to talk about
that.
It
doesn't seem like we did any of that this year.
So you look broke right now.
Exactly. Thank you very little.
So Matt, you talked specifically about a couple things. You talked about spraying and you talked about mowing lawns. Why in the world would somebody choose to hire you out to mow their lawn as opposed to them just doing it themselves?
Well,
who's your typical client?
It's a great question. So we do a lot of commercial places. And we also do a lot of kind of high-end residential places. Now, we don't have to be high-end residential by any means, but the people who hire us typically want to outsource the service because they feel that their time is more valuable doing other things, whether it's raising their children or working on a business or being at work, whatever it might be. So people appreciate that they don't have to worry about their lawn getting mowed.
Well, and we're in a lakes community, right? I'd imagine that a large number of your clients are people who are gone on the weekends. They work here in town during the week, and they need that extra little bit of leverage. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Now, one of the things, Matt, and again, in studio with us, Matt Langamo of All Terrain, and one of the things that I'd imagine is I hear from people all the time, I want to live in a place that has lawn care and snow removal taken care of, and I don't want to worry about that. So they look to a condo. But do they need to do that with a place like All Terrain?
Well, the great thing about All Terrain is we actually service a lot of condo associations as well. So whether they're at their own private residence or in a condo association, they can still enjoy the services we provide.
And you can leverage that stuff out. Like if you want to live and have the privacy of a single-family home, All Terrain might be the great option for them, right?
Well, it not might be. It would be. It is a great option for them.
That's perfect. And I have to say, Matt, I choose to use All Terrain on my lawn. I'm still mowing it myself. I'm not very good. It looks like when I drive, this is my closest chance to drive a go-kart is my mower.
There you go. Sure.
But I have you guys out every spring to get my yard cleaned up. Tell me more about what that looks like.
Well, the spring cleanup is a great service for a lot of people that want to get a kickstart on their yard in the spring. So we would come in and we blow out all the leaves and debris and all that garbage that seems to accumulate in your landscaping beds each year. We take that out, pick it up. We can dethatch your yard. We power broom all the sand off your boulevards, just kind of really spruce things up.
Now, can I go to Rental in town and rent all that equipment?
You sure can.
Okay. Would it be less expensive for me to simply hire out All Terrain than it would be for me to rent out all that equipment?
What we've found with some customers who have asked us that question is if you can get some of your neighbors together with you, you might be able to do it less expensively. But if you're not in with some neighbors, it's likely less expensive to hire us.
And I'll be honest, time is money, Matt. I'm the kind of guy where if I do a do-it-yourself project, I got to pay somebody more just to fix my mistake.
You and me both.
And the lawn, in terms of real estate and in terms of value, that's the most important showpiece, and it's the initial outer shell of a sort where you want to make sure that shines. And so you talked about spraying too. What kind of options are there for spraying? I assume you're talking about taking care of weeds throughout the year.
Correct. Weed control and fertilizer. So our applications include both in each spray. And so what that'll do is that'll help your weed or your lawn become weed-free throughout the year and a nice deep green color.
I love it. And it's so important. We don't know if it's going to be wet or dry this year, but with the help of All Terrain, I think you can have a beautiful lawn. Now, Matt, we're almost out of time, but I do want to know a couple tips that you may have for the do-it-yourself people out there, folks who want to have the green lawn, the weed-free zone. What options do you have for them where they maybe don't even have to give you a call?
Great question. So, like a house, you always want to start with the foundation, and the foundation of a thick, healthy lawn is the root system. So, try to get that as thick and healthy as you can, and that might mean aerating on your own or calling somebody to do it. But the more you can get that root system to develop, the healthier your lawn's going to be.
And these are, of course, services that All Terrain offers, correct?
Yeah, and you can do it on your own as well.
Sure. I am the guy who will call All Terrain all day, every day. I trust you, Matt, inherently. I think you're one of the best people God put on this earth, and you just happen to work at All Terrain.
Well, so thank you very much.
If we can partner up great service with great people, I think it's a wonderful choice. So, Matt, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, if they want to reach out to All Terrain and hire you out for this spring, and I really recommend that you do, how do they reach out?
701 280-3125 is our phone number, and allterrainfargo.com is the website.
Matt Langamo with All Terrain. We love having you in studio. We're going to have you back in a couple weeks because you're pretty good, man. It's fun to have. And please don't tell any stories of when you went to prom with my wife.
That'll be for next week's episode.
Okay, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back right after just a couple of minutes. You're listening to Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch. But before we go anywhere, head to livefargomorehead.com to check out all the houses on today's market. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.
Stick around. More Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch after this.
Don't survive. I was born free. I was born.
This is Real Estate Radio. The Erik Hatch team is highly motivated, innovative, and knowledgeable for all things real estate. This is Real Estate Radio.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio. As always, I'm your host, Erik Hatch, and it's time now for the Erik Hatch team's picks of the week here on Real Estate Radio. We have incredible deals that you don't want to miss out on, so please grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, go to your computer, get a tablet with a chisel. I don't care what it takes. Get this information down because you don't want to miss out on these houses. 4264 Ponderosa Place in Fargo. We're just west of Walmart on 52nd Avenue. Excuse me. Just west of Walmart on 52nd Avenue. This is new construction, and this is a lavish house at 369.9. We're talking 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, the garage of your dreams, the open floor concept that everybody seems to want nowadays. You can't miss a property like this because if you do, you're going to beat yourself up. There's ample space on both floors. We're talking over 1,600 square feet. So this kind of house at 369.9 in the new construction world is realistically a bargain and really beautiful to boot. Now, for those of you out there who are not interested in new construction, boy, do I have the house for you. Let's head outside of town. Let's go to Pelican Rapids, one of my favorite communities. We're talking for $325,000, the house that everybody covets. If you've driven through Pelican Rapids, you know this house. 22 Fifth Avenue Southwest. It is this gorgeous home sitting on the corner, built in 1884, over 3,800 square feet. This massive 2-story home is a combination of, if you want it to be a bed and breakfast and turn it into a business, you could do that. If you want it to be a resort home, you could do that. If you want it to be your permanent residence, it's perfect for that as well. Really, go to livefargomorehead.com right now. Check out this house. Look at these pictures online and give me one good reason why you don't want to buy it. It's that incredible of a house. I can't rave enough about this place. But if we're going to stay in Lakes Country, let's go over to Pelican Rapids still. We're at 26141 460th Street South. I have a great opportunity for you. You have a house sitting on 5 acres, of course, close to lakes, and for $287,500, we're talking a lot of house. 2,200 square feet on the main as a rambler. That is a heck of a lot of house. Excuse me, there is a bonus room upstairs that counts into some of that square footage, but with this kind of layout, it's perfect for families, perfect for people who need some extra space, and everything in between. Finally, let's go to Vergas. I love that area. 42871 Light of View Lane. We have a gorgeous home for $270,000. We're talking great garage space, perfect sunsets. It's incredible. And this is a year-round lake home. So these are sometimes hard to find and oftentimes not well kept, but that is not the case with this house. Go to livefargomorehead.com. Check out this house. Call us at 369-4839. Get your own personal showing or have your own home featured on Real Estate Radio. Now, I would be foolish if I said to you that I'm going to earn every person's business out there that's listening. I would, of course, love that opportunity. But some of you have great relationships or you want to put your trust in another realtor. And I sure understand that. And I don't blame those relationships and putting your trust in other people. When you interview for an agent, I'd encourage you to ask a number of things. First of all, what are other people saying about them? Not their competition, but what are clients saying about them? And one of the best ways for you to find out how people are reviewed is to go online. Type in that person's name and the word review, or go to Zillow, which has a ton of great reviews, but find out the reputation that client has or that agent has with their clients. It's a big deal. does the person work alone or do they work with a team? Because there's benefits to both. I can tell you that Hatch Realty and our team chooses to work together as a succinct unit. Now, people oftentimes think that they're going to get lost in the shuffle with that, but I would challenge you on that and say, if you have a major medical emergency, do you want to go to one physician who can check your eyes and your kidneys at the same time? Or do you want to go to a place like Rochester Mayo that has specialists in every category and that there's leverage all around so that you get exquisite care? Because that's how we choose to do business at Hatch Realty. Now, other questions that are so imperative to ask when interviewing a realtor are, what kind of business do they do? Please be advised that there are risks involved if you put your real estate in the hands of somebody who's maybe a part-timer. Yes, you can get great service and a great possibility, but I would rather trust business in the hands of somebody who does it often, that it's their full-time gig, that they have a marketing budget to boot that supports that, because the difference that real estate agents have between one another are two things, and this is really important for you to note. The first is marketing. How are they going to get your house out to the public? Oftentimes they say realtors do the 3 Ps. They put a sign in the yard, they put it on the MLS, and then they pray that it sells. Now, those 3 Ps are, of course, important, but there's a lot more to marketing than just that. Now, the second piece that's going to set realtors apart from one another is servicing. How are leads going to be responded to? What's going to get lost in the shuffle? Or what's going to be tended to in an immediate type of way? Finally, the best way for you to find out which agent is going to be right for you is, of course, to meet with them. It's a dance. It's a relationship. It's making sure that personalities mesh. If you're somebody who's old-fashioned and you're going with somebody who's nothing but tech-savvy, you're probably going to have a headache. And the same is true of the other nature, is if you're somebody who's tech-savvy and loves to text and loves to have emails, and if that person calls you all the time, you're going to be unnerved. Make sure that your style and your personality matches that of the realtor that represents you. And there's a lot of great ones in this community, and I'm happy to be one of them. We'd love to have a chance to earn your business, so reach out at 369-4839 or head to livefargomorehead.com. I'm being told by the boss man that we are almost out of time, so I do want to close with a couple of final thoughts. First of all, I'm really thankful that Matt Langamo came in the studio with All Terrain. That's some great information, and if you have that chance to make your house shine, it starts with the yard. It's that first impression piece. And so as spring is finally upon us, I pray that there's no other snowfalls looming. As spring is upon us, we get a chance to really have a lot of great time outdoors, whether it be hanging out with your family, playing games, relaxing, doing yard work, whatever it is. I know that All Terrain is a great company that can help you out, and there's a lot of other great companies in town too. So please do your research, find the best one for you. But the second thing I want to close with, and it's imperative that you pay attention to this, is that houses right now are at a premium. Yes, they're more expensive in our community than they've ever been, but I think it's going to keep getting more expensive, especially with the change in interest rates. So you have the opportunity, if you're sitting in a home and you own it and you're wanting to make a move up, that this is realistically the last chance for us to live on borrowed time before these interest rates go up. You can get top dollar for your house, more money than you could have yesterday or the day before. Today is the day when you can get more money for your house than ever. And then take advantage of those low interest rates and buy more house if that's what you're interested in. Heck, even if you're downsizing, it's still a great time because you're using cheap, low-priced, inexpensive money to buy a great house that's only going to appreciate in our strong community of Fargo-Moorhead. So we are in the eye of the storm right now, and I hope that you have the eye of the tiger in going after these houses. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Find out what your home is worth by reaching out to us at livefargomorehead.com or just get in touch with us, and we'll start setting you up to have all your real estate dreams come true. 701-369-4839 is how you reach out. Now, my final thought is this. I want to say, for those of you who took part in the St. Patrick's Day Parade last weekend, holy cow, what a crazy, crazy environment that is. There were so many people chasing after so few pieces of candy. And I parallel that and use that as a similar situation to what we're dealing with in the real estate market right now. People are clawing after it. They're willing to dive in front of moving cars to get a Tootsie Roll. And people are willing to do some crazy things right now to get houses. So if you have a house to sell, you can take advantage of that and make just a ton of money. It's a great time to be in real estate. One last time, 369-4839 or head to livefargomorehead.com. And thanks so very much for tuning into Real Estate Radio this morning. I've been your host, Erik Hatch of Hatch Realty on the Mighty 790 KFGO.
'Cause I'm gonna make this place yours.